It's Jordan Smith. Today we're going to be talking about wooden floors.
We are at our personal home today. We've lived in this space for 3 years. Veronica and I designed and built it, and it's been a great home, but we are moving out. And before we completely get out of here, I wanted to do some long-term reviews of some of the components and materials that we used in here. First up is our walnut wood floors. Now, these wood floors came from Hurst Hardwoods. There's no affiliation with Jordan Smith Builds. We bought the floors, nothing was donated, but we really like that company. They can do some really neat things as far as customization because they work directly with the mill. Everything's kiln dried. We had a great experience with them, and we're going to be using them in future builds where we're doing some pre-finished stuff that we'll tell you about at the end. So this is an engineered wood floor. That means that there's 9 plies of Baltic birch underneath our 4mm wear layer of walnut. Now, as you know, plywood, you have one layer running this way with the wood grains and one layer running this way and this way, this way, this way, and then wood expands and contracts. It expands and contracts preferentially to the grain direction. So when we have our grains perpendicular to each other, this one tries to expand this way and this one tries to expand this way, but this one's held by the one above it and the one above it's held by the one below it and above it. So it creates a grid pattern that's super structurally sound. Well, maybe not super structurally sound, but much more structurally sound than a full thickness of wood that has all your grains running in a single direction. Why this is important on this build is because we had an existing slab and then we added 1,000 square foot. So this is slab on grade, and we are putting the wood directly on the slab. When you do that, you don't want to have a dimensionally unstable floor that's going to be expanding and contracting a lot because the concrete below it is not going to expand and contract. So having an engineered wood floor gives us much more stability. When you install directly on the concrete slab, you want to make sure that it's less than 75% relative humidity in the interior space. Now, in this part of Texas, that means that we've got to be completely dried in, and we have to have our mechanical systems running, either the permanently installed ones that go in the house or have a unit backed up to a window somewhere and sealed off, so it's exchanging that air, cooling it and drying it in the summer, and then just a dehumidifier, big dehumidifiers in the winter to keep this place dry, because you have to keep the relative humidity down, and you also have to make sure that your concrete is dry. You want to be about 4% moisture content in your slab or lower. You also want to make sure that your slab is flat. You want to make sure that you have less than 3/16 high to low over a 10-foot section. So get a 10-foot straight edge and make sure that your concrete slab is relatively flat. 3/16 is still a pretty big raise. It doesn't have to be, you know, a completely flat calibrated slab, but 3/16 over 10 foot. Use a filler where you need to bring up, grinders or rotary hammers where you need to bring down to make sure that your slab is flat. And then once your slab is flat and dry, you glue it down with a acrylic or urethane glue. We prefer urethane just because you don't have the water that has to dry out with acrylic. And then for the finish for this floor, we went with a Bona Traffic Naturale. It has an E on natural. I don't know, it's out of Europe, but it's a great product, low VOCs, super high durability, low slippage actually. I didn't know this until we applied it, but as you're running around, you're not going to do any of the risky business sliding across the wood floor. It's not a sticky floor, but it's a grippy floor, so you can walk around in socks and not have to worry about sliding around. Very durable, and it's a low sheen. I love this about this product because everybody has seen the aluminum oxide finishes on all floors make all floors look plastic, in my opinion. So you can buy a super pretty floor of whatever kind of species of wood you want, and then you put aluminum oxide on it, which protects the floor from scratches, but now you have this thing that looks like plastic. As soon as the sun hits it, it just washes out to a bright white, and it feels like plastic, it tastes like plastic, because it is plastic. It's a ceramic, but still, it's not wood on top. You don't feel the wood. This feels much more like a hard wax or a hard oil finish. It feels like wood underfoot, and I really like it. And while I'm on this rant about aluminum oxide, one of the things that you don't realize when everybody's telling you how impervious to wear aluminum oxide is going to be, it's true. It's a very hard coating. It doesn't want to scratch. but it's harder than everything else that you rake across it. So we've had an aluminum oxide wood floor before, and when our kids took their Tonka toys and they rolled it down the hall and they threw it into that sweet drift, and it's going around the corner just like that perfect, you know, setup drift around there, Top Gear style. The truck drift looked amazing. The floors had these big streaks of hard plastic on it. It didn't scratch the floor, but it acted like sandpaper, and it scraped the bottom of those Tonka truck wheels off onto the wood. So now I still have marks on my floor. It's not the floor scratching, it's the Tonka truck embedded in the floor. It doesn't matter. I still have marks on the floor. So you can get those off, you can work with it. You know, we did stuff to make it better, but don't think just because something is hard that it will not mark. Those aren't the same things. And we have had aluminum oxide chip when we're dropping heavy stuff on it. We've had that top layer chip where it hits and it dents, to where we haven't had that with the Bona Natural. And then as far as durability goes, we've had a dog, a big dog, like an 80-pound golden doodle named Heidi. And we've got an 8-year-old girl and a 6-year-old girl and a 4-year-old boy and a 2-year-old boy, and they do everything everywhere and pull their toys up and down this floor, and it's held up very well. The finish has held up very well. The walnut, on the other hand, dents. It is a softwood. We knew this going in. There's something called the Janka hardness reading, and it goes from, you know, 0, I guess, all the way up to Ipe is around 3,000 something. So that's sort of the high end of the hardness. And what that is you take a ball that is 0.444 inches in diameter, and you see how many pounds it takes to press this ball into this wood until it's embedded, or 50% insert into this wood. This is about 1,010 pounds worth of force. You compare that to a white oak. A white oak is about 1,360, so you've got, what's the math on that, 25% better for white oak. That's a pretty big jump, and white oak's a great floor that you see in a bunch of classic homes that have lasted a very long time. So it's sort of the standard in my mind. So this is softer than that. And then, like I said, you can go all the way up to the crazy hard stuff of Ipe, which is over 3,000. So we knew it was going to be soft going in. It has scratched. There are dog nails where it's dug in across. There's screwdriver tips where kids have jammed it into the floor. It's just, there's some wear and tear to it. Keep that in mind. I don't mind it. Veronica doesn't mind it. We like a house that has been lived in. We like a character look, and as long as it doesn't tear up, it doesn't degrade, but it gets a little scuffs and nicks and character, then we're fine with it. Now the Bona Naturale on top of it hasn't chipped, hasn't flaked, it bends right with the wood. We haven't had any problems with anything on the finish. So if you're looking for durability, Bona Naturale is as good as it gets in my opinion. Walnut is soft. We don't mind it. You might. If you do, look for something harder. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. I will put all of the products that we use down in the description below. I will also put a link over to Hurst Hardwoods. If you do call them up, tell them that Jordan Smith sent you over, because they don't know who I am, and it'll be funny to confuse them, but they're great guys to work with. Give them a call. Also, subscribe or follow me over at Instagram at Jordan Smith Build. Subscribe if we've earned it. Comment below with your favorite wood type. Do you like engineered? Do you like a subfloor with solid wood? Do you like laminate? If you like laminate, we're not going to kick you out of the club. You can still stay, but we are going to evangelize to you daily on why we think any product that is pretending to be another product should just be itself, man. You're cool like you are. If you're plastic, be plastic. Don't try to be wood. All right, we'll see you next time on Jordan Smith Builds. All right, real quick, I forgot to mention in the main part of the video that Hurst Hardwoods is pre-finishing some floors for us with Bona Naturale. So this means that you don't have to do a site finish. You can buy it from them directly, already pre-finished. It's a great option if you have good floor installers, but you're a little iffy on their ability to install an unfinished floor and finish it for you.